Eliza never expected to fall for someone so different from herself, let alone her new tenant. At 45, she thought her days of passionate romance were behind her. But when 28-year-old Marcus moved into the spare bedroom of her Victorian home, everything changed. Their paths first crossed on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Eliza was pruning the rose bushes in her front garden when a beat-up Honda Civic pulled into the driveway. Out stepped a tall young man with tousled dark hair and striking green eyes. He introduced himself as Marcus and explained he was there about the room for rent. Eliza invited him inside, suddenly self-conscious of her muddy gardening clothes and messy bun. As she showed Marcus around the house, she found herself captivated by his easy charm and boyish grin. He asked thoughtful questions about the neighborhood and complimented her antique furniture. By the end of the tour, Eliza knew he would be the perfect tenant. The first few weeks passed uneventfully as Marcus settled in. He was quiet and respectful, often leaving early for his job at the local community college and returning late in the evenings. Eliza would catch glimpses of him coming and going, but they rarely interacted beyond polite hellos. Everything changed one stormy night in October. The power went out, plunging the old house into darkness. Eliza was fumbling for candles in the kitchen when she heard Marcus calling her name. She found him at the top of the stairs, looking adorably rumpled in flannel pajama pants and a faded t-shirt. "I think there's a leak in my ceiling," he said sheepishly. "Could you take a look?" Eliza followed him to his room, where, sure enough, water was steadily dripping onto his bed. They worked together to move his belongings and set out buckets. In the flickering candlelight, Eliza became acutely aware of Marcus's proximity. The scent of his soap mingled with the musty smell of old books. His fingers brushed against hers as they stretched a tarp over the bed. "Thanks for your help," Marcus said softly. "I don't know what I'd do without you." Their eyes met and lingered for a heated moment. Eliza's heart raced. She mumbled something about calling a roofer in the morning and hurried back to her room. Sleep eluded her that night as she tossed and turned, haunted by thoughts of her handsome young tenant. Over the next few weeks, Eliza found herself looking for excuses to spend time with Marcus. She baked cookies and brought them to his room. She asked for his help reaching things on high shelves. They began having long conversations over tea in the evenings, discussing books and travel and their hopes for the future. Eliza was charmed by Marcus's quick wit and kind heart. He listened intently when she spoke about her passion for gardening. His eyes lit up when he described the literature classes he taught. She found herself laughing more than she had in years. Still, Eliza tried to temper her growing feelings. The age gap between them felt insurmountable. Surely Marcus saw her as a maternal figure, nothing more. She scolded herself for entertaining such foolish fantasies. Everything came to a head at Eliza's annual Halloween party. She'd invited friends and neighbors, transforming the house into a spooky wonderland. Marcus offered to help, hanging cobwebs and carving jack-o'-lanterns. Eliza's breath caught as she watched him reach up to hang orange lights, his shirt riding up to reveal a tantalizing glimpse of toned abs. As guests began to arrive, Eliza busied herself playing hostess. She lost track of Marcus in the crowd. A few glasses of wine later, she stepped out onto the back porch for some fresh air. To her surprise, Marcus was already there, gazing up at the stars. "Great party," he said with a smile. "You really went all out." "I'm glad you're enjoying it," Eliza replied, "though I'm surprised you're not inside mingling. I'm sure there are plenty of young women who'd love to meet you." Marcus's brow furrowed. "I'm not really interested in meeting anyone else," he said quietly. Before Eliza could process his words, a drunken partygoer stumbled out onto the porch. The moment was broken. Eliza made her excuses and retreated inside, her mind reeling. The next morning, Eliza woke with a pounding headache and hazy memories of the night before. As she shuffled to the kitchen for coffee, she found Marcus already there. He wordlessly handed her a steaming mug and some aspirin. "About last night," he began hesitantly. "I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable. I really like you, Eliza, as more than just my landlady or friend." Eliza nearly dropped her mug in shock. "Marcus, I'm flattered, but surely you can see why this is a bad idea. I'm old enough to be your mother." "Age is just a number," Marcus insisted. "I've never met anyone like you. You're brilliant and funny and beautiful. I can't stop thinking about you." He took a step closer, his green eyes blazing with intensity. Eliza's resolve crumbled. She set down her coffee and pulled Marcus into a passionate kiss. From that moment on, Eliza and Marcus were inseparable. They spent cozy evenings cuddling by the fireplace, Marcus reading aloud from his favorite novels. Eliza taught Marcus the art of gardening, delighting in his childlike wonder at each new bloom. They took long walks through the neighborhood, holding hands and stealing kisses like teenagers. Of course, not everyone approved of their relationship. Eliza's friends whispered about her midlife crisis. Marcus's parents were skeptical when he brought Eliza home for Christmas, but the couple paid no mind to the naysayers. They were too wrapped up in their own private world of love and passion. As the months passed, Eliza's initial insecurities faded away. Marcus made her feel young and vibrant. His enthusiasm was infectious. For the first time in years, she felt truly alive. They faced their share of challenges, of course. Their different life stages sometimes caused friction. Eliza worried about holding Marcus back from experiencing his youth. Marcus struggled to relate to Eliza's more settled lifestyle, but they always found their way back to each other, their bond growing stronger with each obstacle overcome. On their one-year anniversary, Marcus surprised Eliza with a picnic in her beloved garden. As the sun began to set, he got down on one knee and proposed with a vintage ring he'd found at an antique shop. Eliza burst into happy tears as she accepted. They married in a small ceremony the following spring. Eliza wore a non-traditional blue gown that made her feel like a fairy tale princess. Marcus beamed with pride as he watched his bride walk down the aisle. Their vows, which they'd written themselves, left not a dry eye in the house. As they settled into married life, Eliza and Marcus continued to bring out the best in each other. Eliza pursued her lifelong dream of opening a flower shop, with Marcus's unwavering support. Marcus published his first novel, dedicating it to "My muse and the love of my life." They traveled the world together, from the streets of Paris to the beaches of Bali. Each new adventure only deepened their connection. In quiet moments, they marveled at how fate had brought them together in such an unexpected way. Of course, their relationship wasn't without its challenges. As the years passed, the realities of their age difference became more apparent. Eliza sometimes felt self-conscious about her changing body, worried Marcus would lose interest, but he only seemed to find her more beautiful with each passing day. They faced health scares and family losses, leaning on each other for support through the difficult times. Their love proved resilient, a steady constant amid life's ups and downs. When Eliza turned 60, Marcus threw her a surprise party, flying in friends and family from around the country. As she blew out the candles on her cake, Eliza felt overwhelmed with gratitude for the life they'd built together. That night, as they lay tangled in each other's arms, Marcus whispered, "I fall more in love with you every day. Thank you for taking a chance on us." Eliza's eyes welled with happy tears. "Loving you has been the greatest adventure of my life," she replied. As they drifted off to sleep, Eliza reflected on how far they'd come since that rainy day when Marcus first knocked on her door. She never could have imagined the passionate love story that would unfold. Their journey hadn't always been easy, but she wouldn't change a thing. In the years that followed, Eliza and Marcus continued to build their life together, finding new ways to keep their love fresh and exciting. They took up ballroom dancing, twirling across the floor with the grace of a much younger couple. They volunteered at the local animal shelter, fostering dogs and cats in need of homes. Their home became a gathering place for friends and family, always filled with laughter and love. Marcus doted on Eliza's grandchildren, becoming the fun bonus grandpa who was always up for an adventure. As Eliza's arthritis worsened, making gardening more difficult, Marcus took over the bulk of the yard work. He consulted her on every decision, determined to maintain her vision for their little oasis. On warm days, he'd carry her favorite chair outside so she could supervise and enjoy the fruits of their labor. They faced their share of health scares over the years. When Marcus was diagnosed with skin cancer in his 50s, Eliza was his rock, accompanying him to every doctor's appointment and treatment. Her unwavering support and positivity helped him through the darkest days of his recovery. Even as they entered their golden years, the spark between them never dimmed. They still made time for date nights, trying new restaurants and rediscovering old favorites. They'd slow dance in the kitchen while making dinner, stealing kisses like newlyweds. On quiet evenings, they'd sit on the porch swing, holding hands and watching the sunset. Sometimes they'd reminisce about the early days of their relationship, marveling at how quickly the time had passed. Other times they'd simply sit in comfortable silence, content in each other's presence. As they approached their 25th wedding anniversary, Marcus began planning a vow renewal ceremony. He wanted to celebrate their enduring love and reaffirm their commitment to each other. Eliza was touched by his romantic gesture, feeling just as giddy as she had on their original wedding day. The ceremony was intimate, held in their backyard garden on a perfect summer day. Surrounded by their closest friends and family, Eliza and Marcus exchanged new vows, their voices thick with emotion. There wasn't a dry eye to be found as they sealed their renewed commitment with a tender kiss. At the reception that followed, Marcus surprised Eliza by hiring a string quartet to play their favorite songs. As they swayed together on the makeshift dance floor, lost in each other's eyes, it was as if no time had passed at all. They were still that same couple who had fallen in love against all odds so many years ago. As the party wound down and their guests began to leave, Eliza and Marcus snuck away for a private moment. Standing beneath the old oak tree where they'd shared their first kiss, Marcus took Eliza's hands in his. "Thank you for 25 incredible years," he said softly. "You've made me happier than I ever thought possible. I love you more today than I did when we first met, and I'll love you even more tomorrow." Eliza's eyes shimmered with tears as she replied, "You are the best thing that's ever happened to me, Marcus. Thank you for showing me that true love knows no boundaries. Here's to 25 more years of adventure together." They sealed their words with a kiss, just as passionate and full of promise as their very first. As they walked hand in hand back to their home, both Eliza and Marcus felt profoundly grateful for the beautiful life they'd built together. Their love story may have been unconventional, but it was uniquely theirs, a testament to the power of following one's heart. In the years that followed, Eliza and Marcus continued to face life's joys and challenges side by side. They welcomed great-grandchildren, traveled to new corners of the world, and found fresh ways to keep their love alive. Even as their bodies began to slow down, their spirits remained as vibrant as ever. They often joked that they were living proof that age is just a number when it comes to matters of the heart. Their enduring romance inspired those around them, a reminder that love can bloom in the most unexpected places and stand the test of time. As they entered their twilight years, Eliza and Marcus found comfort in the life they'd built together. Their home was filled with mementos of their adventures, photos from their travels, pressed flowers from their garden, dog-eared books they'd read aloud to each other. Each item told a story, a piece of the beautiful tapestry of their shared life. They faced the challenges of aging with grace and humor, supporting each other through health issues and the loss of friends. Their bond only seemed to grow stronger with each passing year, a love tempered by time and strengthened by shared experiences. In quiet moments, they'd often reflect on the twists of fate that had brought them together. That rainy day when Marcus first knocked on Eliza's door seemed like a lifetime ago, yet the memory remained vivid. Neither could have imagined the beautiful journey that lay ahead, but both were eternally grateful for taking that initial leap of faith. As they approached their 40th wedding anniversary, Eliza and Marcus knew their time together was growing short. But rather than dwelling on the inevitable, they chose to celebrate each day as a gift. They still found ways to surprise each other. Love notes hidden in unexpected places, impromptu picnics in the garden, slow dances in the kitchen. Their love story may not have followed a conventional path, but it was uniquely theirs, a testament to the power of following one's heart and embracing life's unexpected turns. Eliza and Marcus had defied the odds, building a life filled with passion, adventure, and unwavering devotion. In the end, their age difference proved inconsequential in the face of their deep connection. They had found in each other a true partner, lover, and best friend. Their journey together had been the greatest adventure of their lives, and neither would have changed a single moment. As they sat on their porch swing one evening, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Marcus squeezed Eliza's hand. "Thank you for the most beautiful life I could have ever imagined," he said softly. Eliza's eyes shimmered with tears as she replied, "Thank you for showing me that it's never too late for a second chance at love. You've made every day an adventure." They shared a tender kiss, just as full of love and promise as their very first. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Eliza and Marcus held each other close, grateful for the precious gift of their enduring love story.